So, good afternoon, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. I want to first start by apologizing about my accent. I'm French, so it's going to bring a little bit of exotism here, but I'll do my best to try it so that you understand me. So, what I want to talk about today with you here is about big data, and especially about big data dilemma. I think we all live in a world where there's more data coming, there's sensors everywhere. All of us have a connected car, or not yet, but we will somehow. Connected device, connected house. So a lot of sensors out there, a lot of data coming our way. And we all love data, right? Because we think data is the oil of the next industry, so we want data. We want more data. We all want more. But one big question comes when you start talking about data is more always better? And I think that's what I want to discuss with you today. I just want to start with asking you just a very simple question. So how many of you in your company have a big data project going on or something related to that? Can I have a raise of hand out there? Okay, all right. And now let me ask you a question. How many big data projects you think are successful out there? Any idea? No one? How much? No, not quite. So it's not 50%. So actually, if you look at the different reports that have been done by the different analysts out there, Gartner being one of them, less than 30%, or less than a third of every big data project that has been launched in the last 5 years. So big data, just to point out at a point in time, the buzz started in the 90s, or the word was coined in the 90s, and the buzz has been going on since then. But basically, less than one third of every big data project is going to be successful. So it's a lot of investment, but at the end of the day, for nothing. One of the reasons for that is that there are different reasons. One of them is that sure, you collect data, it's nice, you do that. Technology allows to collect even more data, bringing the data basically from place A to place B, so from your client to your server, and technology is helping us with that. We have more storage, you know how to do that, that's okay. It's a good thing, but it doesn't really solve any problem, beside your problem of storage on your client to push that to your server. One of the reasons why any big data project, a lot of big data projects fail is because one aspect is the lack of competency in-house in the company to deal with big data. So we're talking analytics and those kind of things. That's not an easy task, and that's a pretty new science somehow. So it will evolve, and that will get solved. The other question is we collect a lot of data, but we don't know what for. And that's the big question with big data, and that's the main issue is it's how do you answer the so what question? It's not as easy as it seems. It's a very complex issue. You get more data, and the more data you get, the more complicated it is to answer this simple question. It's what can I do with this data? How does it help me? So what? And that's where at here we are absolutely convinced that we can use our deep understanding of location to be able to make sense of how places, people, and things come together and make sense out of this relationship between them. Let's take an example. Last mile delivery. We were discussing about last mile delivery, but just before. If you want to create a last mile delivery experience that is really relevant and that's a good experience, you need to combine a whole different bunch of data sets. You need to know about the people, you need to know about the places, you need to know about traffic so that you know that your parcel is going to be delivered at the right time, being able to have an estimated time of arrival. You need to know where you want to deliver that parcel, and you need to know a bunch of other information like that. And if you think about it, all this information have one thing in common, or at least there is one thing in common. It might not be the only one, but it's one of them, and it's location. And so if you start thinking of that, and it's the same thing with, think about other type of experience, users-based insurance, what's on-demand economy, ride sharing, all this kind of thing. There's always a location angle into it. And the way we want to solve this big data dilemma out here, and the way we solve it already for a long time, because just to give you a bunch of data points, so we've been collecting data, and we've been a big data player way before it was a buzz. I mean, We are sourcing data from more than 80,000 sources, making sense out of it and using location to make sense out of it. But so what I want to try, what I'm trying to say here is that to be able to make sense of your data, you need to look at it from a very specific angle that is relevant. And the angle that we are using is location. And why are we doing that? Because we think that location is the glue that's going to help us make sense of all these different disparate sets of data. Today, outside in the world, the data is very siloed. Siloed within one industry and siloed across the industry. Your different data sources don't talk to each other. Someone needs to bring them together, combine them in a nice way, filter them, process them, so that people can make sense and enhance the experience. So that's why we really think that location, and it would be very interesting to look at all the different user experience that you are building, how much location is important to that. Probably not 100% of you for your experience or your business location is key, but I would bet that for more than half of you, it is very important. And now what we are building out here, and I'm not going to pitch here, so I'm going to go very fast with this slide, but the idea is that, forget about the here logo for a certain extent. It's not necessarily what is relevant here, but the idea is like, there needs to be a platform out there, a mechanism that allows us to bring all this data together, make sense of this data, and then provide this service to a bunch of different companies, you guys out there, who can leverage the power of a global platform who aggregate data from different sources and provide the right tools in terms of analytics and service to enhance your services, the one that you are building. And that's what we are trying to solve with here. So if I was to, I have what, another 2 minutes before I can take question, and so if I want to summarize what I'm trying to say in a couple of words, big data is complicated. Saving data for the sake of saving data makes absolutely no sense. It just comes with a cost. It doesn't come with any value. So we need to combine different data sets coming from different sources to be able to make sense of this data and help enhance the customer experience, enhance the service, and make sense out of it. And if you think about it, location is one of the key dominator of a lot of data sources out there. And if you use location as the lens to understand your data and bring intelligence into your data sets, that's going to help you enhance the experience that you are created, and that's going to help you enhance your service altogether. Right? So that's, with that said, I have like a couple of minutes more, and I would like to hear from you guys if that resonates, if that makes sense, if that doesn't make sense, if you have any question. What do you think? Is it relevant? How many of you are actually using location today? Any kind of location services? Okay. And how do you manage to combine this information with the other source of information you have? How much of an hassle is that? Is it difficult? Is it complex? No? Okay, so you integrate location in your platform from day one. So that's proof. One of my points is that for location is core to what you are doing. Okay, can I ask what you are doing? Not yet. Okay, fine. Any other questions? No? Okay. So I guess I want to thank you for listening to me, and and I don't know who's the next speaker, but then fine.